Hey Jonah, how you going?
I'm good, Mum. How are you?
Good. Actually, I've been a bit poorly the last fortnight.
Oh, yeah.
But
Sound a bit.
yes, as do you. Sound a little bit like...
My excuse is partying too hard, though.
Yeah, oh yeah. Can I use that excuse? I party too hard? Because you know I don't. You know, I lay on the couch at like 7 o'clock,
Yeah.
wrapped up like I'm a nana.
Yeah, the cocoon.
Oh, I'm a busy mum. Anyway, we're totally not even on track.
No, we're not.
This will be like third time lucky. Hey Jonah, how you going?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Hey Jonah, so a fortnight ago we put up this video online talking about your life in the last few months post year 12, and that was a pretty big step and a little bit of a game changer.
It was.
It was, wasn't it?
It's taken us a fortnight to get here, though.
It has taken us a fortnight to get back here, but I just want to say that I'm super proud of you and so impressed by what you said in that video, and then having the courage just to press like send to put it out there. So I thought we'd just touch base and talk about what the reaction was. So do you want to tell me what happened?
Yeah, so before I posted, I spent an hour looking at the... I had a lot of technical difficulties already. That took me a day to edit it, but I spent an hour looking at the video before I pressed upload, just because I didn't even know if I wanted to upload it. I'd never opened up to that many people before, so it was a bit
You're like
daunting.
opened up to the world. It's not
Exactly.
like it's not even that many people. It's like opened up to everyone because it's public out there.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah.
But the reaction was amazing. It was... I didn't know what to expect, to be honest, but it was really good.
What does really good mean?
Really good. I had not had contact with people who messaged me for some years, some weeks, some months. People back at like where I used to live, old classmates. Even on the weekend I was clubbing and an old classmate and I was like, oh yeah, like I watched your video, like I'm so glad you put it up because I feel the same way. And I was like, it's just a weird circumstance to find myself in clubbing and then having a conversation about my YouTube video about mental illness.
Cool.
But it was good.
So it's been positive.
Extremely positive.
Yeah. Did anyone on YouTube comment negatively on there? Or?
I forgot to turn the comments on.
Good. That's good. Because we did talk about that
We
too.
did, yeah.
About how you manage the negative or the comments that kind of take you by surprise in a bad way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which we'll talk about a bit later. So for me, I chucked it on my Facebook page and I had, so many amazing comments from lots of friends out there and people like you who might be on my socials, but we are not regularly in contact.
Yeah.
And they all said, really positive things about you and how they just, basically, hats off to speaking about how you feel. And then they opened up about their internal struggles.
Yeah.
And then I had private messages as well going.
Same as me.
Yeah.
Within an hour, I had 2 other people, like, we had half an hour long conversations, paragraphs worth of talking about how it felt and what life was like. Mainly uni students, a lot of them were lost already in their, 3-4 months of being in some courses, but yeah.
Yeah. So that launching from year 12 is not easy.
No, it's not.
No. So, am I right in saying that you kind of feel that there's lots of people out there that are like not feeling lost, but just unsure about what's happening, just kind of grappling with the change that has happened, between
Absolutely.
year 12 and becoming an independent
More
adult?
than I expected as well.
Oh yeah, good. More than you expected.
Even from people where I thought, nothing's perfect on the inside, but it may look great on the outside. But people I thought were doing really well messaged me, and I was like, this is just, I thought they had a grip.
Yeah, but that's what we were saying to you, is that people will think that about you because you come across so confident and so out there and man, I'm all over this like a rash.
And then I got this video and people were like, oh my god,
dude.
Like I had no idea, and I'm like, yeah, I didn't say anything.
Yeah, awesome. Well, totally proud of you for saying something.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then in between that, we've had a couple of conversations between me being in bed and not feeling well and you kind of doing Jonah life about what we should do from here out. And I've been like, I think we should record those conversations because you've been like, nah, don't want to open up anymore.
Yeah.
And I've been like, I think, that we could talk a little bit more about life before you finish year 12 and post year 12, just more so to help people out so that we all understand that we're all in this together. I've seen this great saying over the years, which I saw in the Pacific Islands, is that we're all in this canoe together. But I recently saw one to say basically we're all weathering the same storm, whether we're in a canoe, whether we're in a big boat, whether we're on our own. We're just kind of all figuring it out as we go along.
Yeah.
So I think we could talk about those things down the track. But anyway, I think I'm going off on a tangent. What we were going to talk about today is the process about how you speak out.
Yeah.
So how you have the courage to open your mouth to that one person and say, I feel or I need in relation to I'm not doing okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you want to shed some light on that? Like how you choose somebody, like kind of what is in your head at the time?
So I only opened up to one person when I was going through it. And then the reason why I trust that person is because I had an emotional connection to them. And in that circumstance, being like they had opened up to me and I knew that them explaining their life story and what that person had gone through, and some circumstance trauma, then I knew that if they have the trust to open up to me, then I should feel the same way about them, which I did, thankfully.
That relationship's not always reciprocal, though. A lot of people don't give. A lot of people give and don't take back.
Yeah.
So how did you know that that person was going to be able to take the information that you give them and process that and support you as well?
Because I had done the same for them.
So that just made you think that that person could?
Yeah, and obviously I had known this person for 2 or 3 months. I know it was a short amount of time, but I'm really good at reading people. And I know in some circumstances people can be two-faced or completely lie just to like hold an emotional like grudge against you or put something over you. But for me it was they had opened up about their experiences. They trusted me, and that's obviously a big step.
Yeah.
But I think my circumstance is different because it was such a new person in my life that I opened up to.
Did that feel easier?
That
it wasn't somebody that you had a long connection with or a long history with?
No, not really. No, I had a strong connection with that person from the onset. So.
No, I mean, did it feel easier to talk to them because it wasn't your relationship?
No, it felt the exact same, to be honest. It didn't feel any different as if I was opening up to you and I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So you kind of innately knew that that person would be trustworthy or would accept the information that you wanted to tell them and do something responsible with it. So
whether it was just listening.
Great.
Because that person, I didn't want any not the word help, but I didn't need answers. I just needed someone to talk to, and that person listened, and that was all I needed. And they gave some small feedback, just words of comfort, and that was all I needed.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. I think that's a really great point in that often when you need to vocalize like what's internally occurring is that you're not looking for someone to fix it, you're just looking to be able to say it out loud or to connect with someone to go, I also and this person has shared with you that they may have had similar experiences as in mental health, not as in your specific but I think that when you just speak it, you just need someone to listen to you. So that's great that you knew that that's what you wanted. As a mum, we always want to fix things, and that doesn't often help people. You need to support people to make a change. And fixing is, a kind of really loose word these days. So
you can offer your services, you can offer help, but pushing it on that person is not going to help their situation at all, as long as you're just there, literally just being there. And one thing as well, don't change the way you see them once they've opened up, because that takes a massive toll on how they feel, because they think, oh well, I've just opened up and now they see me differently. Like, you've become good friends with someone, they open up, and then a week later relationship is instantly different. It's like, oh, this person now sees me as like broken or whatever, they need to help me. That's not what I wanted. All I wanted was just someone to talk to and keep the exact same platonic relationship as a good friendship.
Awesome. That's insightful. That's super insightful. it's kind of two things I wanted to talk about there is that one, you just needed somebody to listen to you, and that you didn't want it fixed or help. No. You just wanted someone to listen.
Yeah.
And like from there, where do you go from there though? Like, you know, if that person's concerned about you, and we're going to come back to that, don't change your relationship with someone. If they're concerned about you, you know, what do you think they should do? Because we were having a conversation before about the Are You Okay movement. If someone says, I'm not okay,
then what do you do?
Then what do you do?
Yeah.
So you've chosen someone, you feel like and it's not like you go, okay, I'm going to target that person and choose them. You just know that in that moment, it's right to say something and you need to get off your chest. But then if they're concerned about you, what are they going to do and how you're going to accept it? And actually the important thing you said is that you can't force support upon someone.
Yeah.
So in your instance, what does that person say and do to support you?
What helped me and what I do to others now as well is I did this thing first and then it happened to me and I realized it also helped me as well. I ask, tell me as much as you want. Like, they've obviously opened up about this experience. That may not be the first experience. It could be a lot of other things. They may not have said other things. There could be other previous experiences as well. And I just ask them, has it happened before? When was the last time it happened? Like, my anxiety attacks and panic attacks, it was like, then that person asked, when did you have them? How long has this been going on for? And we just broke down from what was the very beginning of that trigger. And then we just talked about it. And they didn't give any, insight. They literally just asked, when did it happen? Do you know why it happened? Have you thought about why it's happened? And then once you've dissected the whole situation as it was going on for a while, that's when you need to offer, do you want help? Or even not saying do you want help, like, oh, well, can I help with anything? What's next? Like, what do you want to do? Like, am I able to help you out at all? Instead of saying from the beginning, do you need help? Because they might freak out and think, oh, well, because of all these past experiences, I don't know if I do. But if you ask them what they've gone through and then you've figured out what's happened to them, then you've got a little bit more insight. And then they also understand that you're not just trying to, what's the word? You're not just trying to, it's like a personal guilt and you need to help someone.
Oh, yeah. So you're not making it about you.
Exactly. You're just making it about them because they've obviously taken the time to learn about what's been going on with you.
Yeah. Wow, you're so smart.
Thank you.
Really, basically what you've just said, it comes out of, somebody on a professional couch, in that you can't force it upon someone. It helps just to help that person talk it out. And in some circumstances, talking about it is dangerous and not okay. But, so we're just talking about in the context of you. Yeah. So we're not giving professional advice. We're just talking about it in the context of this conversation with you and your friend and how it worked for you.
Yeah.
So the fact that you have learnt at the young age of 18 to just at least listen.
Yeah.
And you are a very good listener, to listen to your friends, and then that you got that same back. That's so impressive. So impressive that you're out there doing that for people, but people are learning that at such a young age about how to reciprocate that listening and supportive process, empathy, instead of sympathy. So, hats off to you guys, which is super cool. And that makes me, as a mum, feel very comforted in that's the kind of groups that you're hanging out with, which I know that anyway, but that culture, and this is what we want to talk about, is that culture needs to change. That there's no shame.
No, there isn't, because everyone's withering the seed. Withering, is it?
Weathering,
not withering.
It's not everyone's withering heights. We're all withering.
Yeah,
we're all withering.
We're weathering the same storm.
Yeah.
No, we're all falling apart together.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we're all falling apart together. We're figuring it out together.
Yeah.
I think we're figuring it out together. We're learning. We grow from these situations. And even if you don't think about it now, if you're like, oh my God, that's just it's such a parent teaching moment. Let's grow from this. Sorry, that's my, mum voice.
Yeah.
Is that you'll look back. You have already learnt. What you did with someone else and what someone else has done to you has already taught you so much, and you'll just take this into your life and we'll build culture from this. And that is the change that will come out of it. So awesome.
Yeah.
So we were going to talk about something else, and now my chain of thought has gone. I was like, let's come back to that. Oh, don't change your relationship.
Yeah.
So talk about that.
That is. I've never personally experienced someone changing their outlook on me.
After you've divulged something like a mental health problem.
Yeah. Mainly because the person that I opened up to, there was already a strong bond before I opened up, and that person didn't know about it until I had opened up. So they knew that it hadn't been going on since I had met them. Like, it had been only happening quite recently, which didn't change the way that person looked at me, thankfully. But if it's a friend and you've just opened up recently and that person has had no experience with any trauma related or mental illness related, usually they don't know how to react. And in most circumstances, it's not their fault if they change the way they look at you. But I'm almost begging you, please do not change your outlook on that person once they've opened up, because that takes even bigger of a toll, because then they think, oh, well, how do I even open up anymore?
Yeah.
And then that just becomes even worse, because if you don't open up to anymore, you lose more trust. And losing trust in a relationship like boyfriend and girlfriend, yeah, it's detrimental if it happens and they look at you differently. But losing it in a friendship can be just as worse, because friendships last longer than relationships. So if a friend's just opened up to you and you had no idea this was going on, do not change. Just do what I said. Go through the process, what's been going on, what's happened. Because if you look at them differently, you will physically see changes in their attitude towards you, and then you will question, oh, what did I do wrong? Is it my fault? It's not your fault, it's just the way you handle the situation. And if it does happen and you accidentally say the wrong thing or whatever, give it time, okay? Time is the greatest remedy of all. If you offer your services to someone and they say, I'll think about it, just give them time, be the same person you were before.
So when, is this an example when you're like, someone says, I'm not doing okay, and you're like, okay,
yeah, exactly.
you do the talk, you can help them talk it out, you
Yep.
can help them kind of break it down a little bit and see where, they might need some support.
Yep.
And then when you get to that, I can help you, what help do you want bit, if they're like, nah, brah, I'm all good, or they're like, nah, I can't, then...
You just go, okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to say, I'm here for you. Just go, that's okay, man, when you're ready.
Yeah. Because they know, if they should know by your reaction that you're already here. So you don't think, that you don't need to say those words.
Yeah.
They're just like, hug it out, I'm here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And if you open up and someone says, oh, do you want my help? And you go, no, it's all right. I may need later on, but I don't need it right now. And they have a negative reaction to that, and then they go, oh, well, you should open up. Don't even talk to them. Seriously. Even if you've had a long relationship with them, I honestly swear on my heart, do not talk to them at all, because...
Is that harsh?
Yeah, it is, except why would you, it's just... keeping them, that just becomes extremely toxic. And if that, honestly, and it could be, if they're going through something as well, that's when you both need to have time and communicate, and then that person will open up, oh, I've just had the same situation as you. That is completely okay to then not talk. But if that person was just wired to be obnoxious, or we're talking just because you don't want to. Yeah.
So in those circumstances, you think they're just making it about them. They're just well, if you don't want my help, you don't want my help. We're done.
That's when communicate of time, and time. They might open up. You might text them again, but just give it time, because then that person might say, "Oh, I've gone through the same thing. Sorry, I acted that way." Yeah. And then you've obviously had the both same experience, which is.
Or they just may.
A complete twat. And if they are a complete...
And then we should do another conversation about how people are not in touch with themselves and they're making it all about themselves.
Exactly. If they are a complete twat, please move on. Do not think, oh, well, they know so much about me and they could hold this over my head. Well, you are obviously growing and becoming a better person.
Yeah, awesome. Look at you go. Because I was just thinking in my head, you're really talking about a whole lot of self-talk and a whole lot of self-worth in this... in this context of how people react to you, or how you react to, what people do or say about you. Yeah. So, but I guess when you're feeling really low, or you're feeling like there's a problem in your life, then your self-worth is possibly quite low. So it's easy to pick up on other and misconstrue like conversations and that
exactly,
too.
yeah.
It's a bit of a fine line, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's when obviously helping someone becomes as a very like, if someone's like on the brink, I don't mean of suicide, just I mean the brink of like an emotional breakdown, a mental breakdown. That fine line between helping someone and causing an issue becomes even thinner.
Yeah,
and that's when you need to be really cautious. And the best way of approaching that is just like I said, just be there. If someone's having if someone's physically with you, like in the same room, and they have a mental breakdown, I just let them have the mental breakdown. I let them sit there and cry. Doesn't matter how long they cry for. Just literally be in the same room. You could have an awkward, like silence in there, but just wait for them to talk. Or then you just sit down next to them, physically comfort them, hug them, whatever, and then they'll open up. But do not instantly go, "Are you okay? Do you need my help?" Or don't overload them, because trust me, they are
already overloaded.
They are already overloaded, and those obviously come out in them crying.
So as long as they're in a safe environment.
Exactly, yeah. And if they're in a safe environment at a friend's place and they're crying, they trust you.
God, does everyone cry at some point when you're in a friend's house, like late at night?
Yeah, you're either drunk. Or,
which we don't advocate underage drinking. Hey,
no, we
Jonah.
don't. No, we don't. But it's
do we advocate overage drinking?
Yes.
Responsible drinking.
Do not drink your problems away. If you have a problem,
yes.
Don't drink them away.
Oh God, even if you're just saying those words, I love it.
It's taken 4 kids to get there.
It's taken 4 kids to get there.
But yes,
oh,
it's not often a friend breaks down at a friend. Like, it's not often someone breaks down at someone else's house. And obviously, if they are, A, they need help, but B, please be patient. They're obviously have some sense of trust towards you if they're already doing it in front of you. But yeah.
Mate, you're awesome.
Thank you.
God, I did good. Oh, I thought you were going to make me fist pump.
No, because I knew you were going to... Oh, shit.
You're like, Mum's not with the fist pumping yet.
Not yet.
All right, that's gold. Look at you little nuggets. So I'll just kind of recap them.
Yeah,
Am I right? Like, when you found a person that you feel like you've got a rapport with and that you feel that they will accept the information, whatever personal information you want to divulge, that a great technique is to just listen to it.
Exactly.
No judgment.
No.
If it's mental health related or they're having a really kind of crisis of, their moment in life, just talk through what's actually happening, like how maybe a timeline or how they're feeling or what might have set it off, or that like to talk about that. And then kind of see if you can work out a plan or offer some help, work out a plan. So if they say yes, they want help, what do you reckon happens from there?
Okay, so if they want help in a sense of like they need help to figure out what's going on with what's causing anxiety attacks or panic attacks, that's when you even go into more depth of the conversation of, well, when you weren't having them, what was your life like? Because obviously something has changed. If it's a like insecurity or like someone's got body dysmorphia and they obviously don't like the way they look, be like, well, have you thought about signing up for a gym? I could do it with you. And saying that, some people, not that person who's being affected, but some other people could think, oh, well, that's just being like you're body shaming them. It's not. Trust me. They've already thought of that. They're already in that moment.
So you're kind of just actually offering to be able to walk the path with them.
Exactly.
And giving some suggestions.
Yes.
Yeah. At what point do you think, getting professional help or, getting some, outside support is necessary? And we're back in business.
We had to reshare this because...
we were experiencing technical difficulties. Your broadcast was interrupted.
Broadcast.
Okay, anyway, so we were talking about...
just finished living in someone else's shoes.
Yes, so talk about living in someone else's shoes, and at what point do you think you suggest people seek professional help?
Yeah. So, seeking professional help would definitely happen after either the help that you, not that you want, help that you need from, if you ask your friends and your family, the help that you're provided, if you don't need it.
How do you know you don't need it though?
Or it's not working for you. So
Which professional help or friend help?
friend help.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so if you're offered help by a friend and it does not work, even if that friend has given you all the advice you need and it doesn't work, that's when I'd seek professional help. If you don't have any friends or family to go to that you believe you trust, then seek professional help as well. But in severe situations, like...
You should seek professional help immediately.
Immediately, yeah.
Yeah.
Or from someone you, has... Like I said before, some people will go through all these things months on end and don't open up till after. If you do know a person that has helped you get through previous situations and has been with you the entire time, then I'd prefer going to them first, and then if not, go to professional help. Because at least that person has spent so much time with you going through those, going through your story, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, are you saying that you think that, for your age group, that your friends, are a really important part of the process and a really good source of support?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They really are. Because obviously leaving school and it can be detrimental to your health if you do not have a social life. Not saying that you have to be social every day, but just keeping in contact if it works for you. Definitely having people around.
Social life, can you explain? You mean having friends and contact with friends, having a connection and a social
relationship
with friends.
Definitely.
Yeah, with people, so that you are connected outside of your normal day-to-day.
Yeah.
Humdrum. Whether that's hanging out in your bedroom or...
Yeah. And I don't even playing games online with your mates.
Face-to-face contact.
Face-to-face, definitely, absolutely. I'd highly recommend that. But as any kind of interaction which obviously makes you happier or healthier, definitely should do that. Yeah.
Because, professional help doesn't always have to be like a psychologist or a psychiatrist or... going to the GP and getting medication, which are all completely appropriate, support,
and
depending on the
situation. Don't work, but that's okay.
I guess, that's another conversation about,
you
having to own your own life and situation as well.
Yeah.
We won't go down that path
because we are not professionals.
That's, pretty much. But I was just thinking, that also, professional or... And when I say professional, you either could always think a doctor or, psychologist and that, but also somebody that is capable of helping you kind of in the wellness space. So a counsellor or, a therapy session, a group session with, a company.
And don't feel ashamed if you go to therapy. Even when I was extremely happy, I still, a family member of ours is a therapist, and I haven't set up session yet, except I'd like to, and I'm happy where I am now, but I still want to go anyway, just because I don't know, I feel like I could talk about more stuff, and you don't have to be in such a bad situation to see a therapist. So good or bad, do not feel ashamed if you want to go and talk with someone who has any professional help. Any professional
who can provide professional
professional help. Yeah,
that's a really important point too, is that you don't need to be at a crisis in your life to seek some help.
No, you don't.
Because that can cut off a crisis occurring.
Yeah, exactly,
That if you have the tools to build some resilience.
The conversation we had last night with our family, it was about seeing if you're going down a path of you're highly stressed and you see your breaking point, but you do not change a single thing that happens before that, and you're still going to reach it, and you do reach it. Even if you know it's going to happen, don't wait to the breaking point. You can absolutely open up, and then that prevents it from happening.
Oh, good work. Good wrap up of 3.5 hours of conversation that we had last night.
That really did, yeah.
That was pretty intense conversation.
It really was,
but it was a cracking conversation.
It was,
Hey?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. So just kind of recap on our whole entire conversation. In that, when you want to reach out for help, or you get to the point where you think you need to talk to somebody, am I right in that you're suggesting, that it's someone that you've got a good rapport with, someone that you feel you can trust the information with, and that person is going to listen, and that you don't always want a resolution. You don't want them to give you an answer. You just need someone to listen. seek professional help. And as a person who is receiving that information, it's kind of tricky for that person to know when they need to, guide them into, onto somebody else.
Yeah.
So I guess if you feel out of your depth, and then you should be asking or helping them get them support for someone else.
Yeah.
To get help from someone else that can help them. There's a lot of help words going on in there. Helpity help. That your friend group is super important.
Absolutely.
Keep some social connections.
Yeah.
Oh, don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed.
I was about to say that, don't be ashamed, yeah. And friendships, quality over quantity.
Oh, high five. Ooh, fist pump. Woo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
Quality over quantity.
Explain that.
Just because you have 60,000 friends doesn't mean that it's good. Like, you could have so many good friends, but have no close friends and have no one open up to you. I recommend keeping, even after school, you keep 3 or 4 really, really close friends, or 5 or 6, whatever, but make sure you have...
What makes them a close friend?
Your experience, for me, experiencing life together quite often, knowing a lot about each other, trust, again, I keep going back to trust, definitely trusting that person as well. And it could be like, you've just met the person, doing what's your best mates, and that could
that can be really
friend.
superficial though too.
It can, yeah.
Yeah, so what makes it not superficial? What makes this is circling right back to the first question, how do you know you can trust that person other than the fact they may have opened up to you? Like, what other clues indicates that they are a friend who basically would be trustworthy with your information?
They're going out of their way to spend time or help you.
Yeah.
Like, they're giving up their own life as new as you are to theirs. They're giving up their time to be with you, and obviously making an effort to spend time with you. And obviously, that, again, two-faced or backstabbing people could use that as an advantage, but as long as you're cautious, but they're giving you the time of the day and going out of their way to spend time with you, that's when
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. What about some of the things that they might say to you, or they might remember about you, that would help you, like, know that they actually do get you, do understand you?
Yeah, I mean, not everyone has to be the exact same person. Two opposites can attract in any circumstance, whether it's dating or friendship. But if they're remembering, like if you've opened up to them on a bad serious occasion, they know not to go around and tell everyone, or in conversations in big groups, like, so
that they keep they keep it in confidence.
They do, yeah. They keep it in confidence, and they keep it, if you're asking them to keep it discreet or to not mention it or anything. If you're in a big friend group, then obviously they aren't. So yeah, you know that they're obviously trusting, and they're going out of their way to make sure you're comfortable. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice. Awesome. I can see how important that is to you. Yes. Yeah.
It really is.
And I think reciprocal, a good relationship is a reciprocal relationship.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I have learned over the years to not open up to everyone, because I'm such an open person sometimes, but I have kept myself quite recently with just a few people, and it has worked out in my favour, just to not open up to everyone. And not in a bad way, of course, but just like previous circumstances.
So you feel like you don't need to overshare with everybody when you first meet them?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, obviously, people are different, and some people have different life experiences and couldn't take your past experiences into account when having open conversations, and then that causes the rumours or discomfort within yourself and groups, and other people look at you differently. And whether that person who's shared your secret, if they've done it on accident, but sometimes accidents can lead to serious situations and can alter friend groups.
We should have a conversation about friend groups. Wow, that's just like a can of worms, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so complex though, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
Like, you got to think about these things all the time. Well, actually, you don't have to think about it.
No, I think we'll think about it next
I know
week,
that you think about these things all the time, and I know how important it is to you.
Yeah.
And I guess everyone is different, but it's been really interesting having a few sons in the house when I didn't have brothers, about how male dynamics work in a
and because all us three brothers are also very, very different.
Very different.
Very, very different.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been completely insightful, and I think your advice and your experience, like I said at the start, is just going to help other people. It's a really big step to opening up, to reaching out to somebody and saying that I'm not okay. We talked about that, what happens if you're not okay. So at least now we've kind of talked about the importance of speaking out, and then the importance of being the person to receive or accept the information.
Because obviously you can ask if someone's okay, and if they're saying no, and then you don't know how to deal with that situation, obviously. So really your key message is that if you're receiving the information, it's about listening, and then you kind of have to assess at what point you don't have the skills to help them. Exactly. And as long as you're there being with them and having the time of day to help them. Help being, like you said, just listening. That's what they need. And because we're talking about this in your situation, in that you just needed that extra support from the people around you, and are comfortable with not having to reach out and seek professional help. Which is kind of like the best outcome. It's that this helps you regulate and learn how you operate, like you were talking before about so it's it's self-awareness learning journey. Awesome. Alrighty, awesome. I think we'll wrap it up there.
I think we'll wrap it up there.
It's been the longest so far.
I know it has been a pretty long one. It has, but so important. So awesome. And I just, totally, like I've said before, super proud of you. Thank you. I think you're really awesome.
I think you're really awesome.
Thanks, babe. All right, well, awesome. I love you.
I love you too. All right. Okay,
love you. See ya. Bye. Love you. See you. Bye.
Thanks for watching the video. Again, phone numbers will be up here. Reach out to someone. Like this video explained the process of opening up to someone and reaching out. The previous video was about me just opening up and how to open up. These videos will become a regular occurrence. Every fortnight, my mum and I are gonna talk about different approaches to mental health or how to deal with it. Because I've been approached by loads of people and they're like, oh, hey, I love the video, like I connected to it. Can you maybe thought about uploading more? And I will, because we may as well just do a journey and the due process of everything together. So yeah, these will happen fortnightly with my mum. Last video I did say I'd upload more videos of my mates and I, but I have had a pretty hectic past fortnight. Mainly my fault for not uploading, because I've had poor life choices and have decided to club and work every weekend and have no motivation during the week. But I don't want to club anymore, so I can do YouTube, so I will have more time to do videos, day in the lives, obviously out with friends. So yeah, once again, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, turn post notifications on, because this will be happening more, I guess. So yeah, I'll see you guys later.